What's the dumbest thing you've done in D&D and actually been proud of? Let us know in the comments below, you little scamps. We treated my monk's bonus movement as a Dragon Ball-esque disappears and almost teleports ability throughout the campaign. Near the endgame, we had to fight a dracolich with a visible occipital hole. When I asked if I could use my bonus movement to get inside its head through the hole and hammer it from the inside, the DM was so baffled that he let me roll for it. I passed. I spent the entire fight inside its head. Not D&D rules, but one time our group was kidnapped by cultists and taken to their church for sacrifice. The DM gave us red tokens and told us to decide, put the token in your hand if you want to join the cult. Don't if you want to keep fighting. When we revealed our choices, the DM was the only one who stood his ground. In desperation, I shouted, "Neolathrotep! I want to make a deal!" I rolled a 1 on a D8 to get his attention. Suddenly, the church started shaking as thousands of fleshless angels swarmed through the windows and devoured everyone but me. A crack opened in space, and a mass of tentacles with mouths and eyes emerged. I rolled another 1 on a D8 to avoid going insane, and a third 1 to convince him that what I said made sense. We died anyway, but instead of a normal death, it was more like a transmigration. He took our souls because he thought we were funny. We continued this campaign with new characters at the same level. 3 critical rolls, a 1 in 512 chance. We were about to start a campaign when the mage decided to throw a fireball into a sulfur mine. The entire dungeon exploded before we even got in. There was much debate about XP. The DM's answer? No. Shortest campaign ever. The DM was not happy. My friend snuck up on me while wild-shaped as a leopard and didn't think to tell me. I rolled a nat 1 on an intelligence check to see if it looked familiar. Then I rolled max damage and cut off her leg. Ha! Good times. It's been my cleric's mission to get a pet. Tried to tame a rat, but it escaped. Tried wolves, it just didn't work out. Another character bought me a pig. It got eaten by goblins. Now I'm carrying chicken eggs in a bag filled with wool, hoping for the best. I got swallowed by a dragon and, in my panic, pressed a button on my magical ship in my inventory. The ship expanded from a teeny tiny box, and my orc burst out of the dragon like it was a flesh-made cake. With a boat! Now in this game, the most secure place in the setting was a tower enchanted to prevent teleportation. The party was investigating a recent robbery there. I realized summoning a familiar from its pocket dimension bypassed the enchantment, so I sent mine in. It worked. That was until it alerted the beholder in the middle of the room and got vaporized by its anti-magic cone. Then the alarm went off, and everyone freaked out about another break-in. Thanks to invisibility, my character slipped away unnoticed. The only person who might have known what I did was the other party member I planned it with. I tried to sell a quarterstaff for more than it was worth. Our Owlin rogue chimed in saying, "He can fly on that quarterstaff." I decided, why not? And attempted to fly with it like a helicopter. Rolled a nat 20. I sold it for 30 gold and studded leather armor. The whole table laughed for 5 minutes straight. And you invented Sun Wukong. Enjoy! 2 memorable moments come to mind. Drinking writing ink from a ballot box just to see if it was magical. And throwing another player's character from the ground into a second-story window just to access a cult leader's office. Now, miraculously, they went through the window and didn't alert the guards. Guess they were drinking on the job again. My tabaxi bard climbed the outer wall of a goblin hideout and pooped down a chimney, which turned out to be the exhaust for their oven. It landed in a pot of stew and poisoned the goblins. Later, the same tabaxi attempted to recreate this feat during a boss fight against a hag in her tree hideout. The plan was to poop in her cauldron. He climbed the tree, but when he saw the party struggling, he decided to jump on the hag instead. Well, he failed the skill checks and landed on her as dead weight and got KO'd. However, the hag was knocked down, took a lot of damage, and lost concentration on her spell. The party ended up winning the fight. I convinced my party to throw me, a barbarian, off a balcony for an epic cleave attack with my axe against an unknown enemy below. Unfortunately, it turned out to be an ochre jelly. I split it in two, creating another jelly. With no weapon that wouldn't make things worse, I had to fight them barehanded while the rest of the party peppered them with spells. Thankfully, good rolls on my part and bad rolls on the DM's part saved the day. The Dragon Egg Pickpocket. During a fight with a young dragon, I, the thief, decided to pickpocket it instead of attacking. The DM said I needed to roll a 20 or higher. I rolled a nat 20 and stole an egg. P.S. The thief died shortly after. It was session 1 with my high school friends, and we started the campaign in prison. Instead of working together to escape, my cleric and a friend's rogue immediately fought each other. I ended up killing the rogue. My ranger companion leapt onto a fleeing enemy warrior's horse and began grappling and fighting him. Meanwhile, the rest of us were still on foot in a nearby village. I, playing a bard, cast dissonant whispers on the enemy, forgetting the part where they immediately used their reaction to run away. The horse took off, carrying my companion into the woods, far out of the range of our spells and abilities. But thankfully, she defeated the warrior on her own, partly thanks to the 13 damage I did to him. Okay. Edition 3.5. Situation: a square room filled with 10 kobolds and a couple of bugbears. I, a drow necromancer rogue, and a level 10 fighter with a greatsword, successfully sneaked into the room. You mean snuck. In a moment of madness, the fighter suggested the totem pole maneuver. My drow climbed onto the fighter's shoulders with my staff of lightning bolts, 11 charges remaining, while the fighter wielded his greatsword with an extended 15-foot reach. The DM allowed a surprise attack. I fired a lightning bolt, hitting 8 enemies and killing 5. We rolled initiative. The fighter, using a swift action to activate his amulet of haste, moved to the center of the room and performed a whirlwind attack. He landed a series of critical hits, wiping out the rest of the kobolds. On my next turn, I fired another lightning bolt, leaving only one bugbear alive. The bugbear attempted to flee, but provoked an attack of opportunity and promptly died. Notable mention: the same necromancer, now a level 17 lich, successfully traded his life to a high-level devil to kill the big bad. The lich returned a few days later, the bad guy stayed dead, and we made a detour to raise a new undead friend. We ambushed a particular slod in what was essentially a slod nursery, because we needed 3 of the gems that grow at the base of their brains. I have no idea if that's rules as written or homebrew. Not only did I nat 20 the first roll, but I also rolled nat 20s on all 3 attempts. In the surprise round, I cut the first gem straight out of its head. The second slod was already dead when I carved the gem out. No problem there. The third was still alive, but we snuck past all the eggs in the nursery to ambush it, like the first one. This spanned 3 sessions. If I'd failed the last roll, we'd have gone up against a mini slod army, 10-to-1 odds or worse. We, might have survived, but I'm glad we didn't have to test that. The DM was so impressed by my third nat 20 that they'd let us break all the eggs on the way out without any of them hatching. Good job. Not my proudest moment, but hilarious nonetheless. We were restarting the same game with a new group since too many players had come and gone for the campaign to stay coherent. During one session, my character was force-fed a glowing white brick. Now, failing a con save meant instant diarrhea. I managed to escape, get captured, and resist eating the brick for 3 rounds before I finally failed, joining the rest of the party in my unfortunate fate. Despite this chaos, I managed to intimidate random creatures into attaching themselves to a cool stick I found, which became an unexpected highlight of the session. The game ended with me accidentally backflipping off of a mountain we were climbing and receiving an ominous premonition from the DM about a flock of thousands of chefs chasing my water genasi to make me into sushi. Apparently, it was chef mating season. Man, that was an incredible group, and I miss those days. Here's an edit, by the way. My character was unwilling, but I was laughing my ass off the whole time, trying to see how long I could last. We were playing a Dragon Babies campaign, where we were all young dragons, like, 4 to 10-year-old children. At one point, we entered a room with glue on the floor. My character, thinking like a child, decided, hey, lick the glue. Naturally, their tongue got stuck to the floor, and combat started immediately. An air elemental showed up, blowing wind everywhere. Now, because my tongue was stuck, I couldn't cast spells, but the DM let me use the pipes of the sewers to summon rat allies. The rats swarmed in and occupied my space, and then the air elemental moved in and occupied my space too. Picture this: my dragon character stuck to the floor by their tongue, floating in the elemental's vortex, with rats swirling around me. When the air elemental used its push ability, all the rats went flying into the walls, but I stayed put because my tongue was stuck. It actually turned out great, and I acted like it was all according to plan. Hey everyone, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know in the comments below what's the dumbest thing you've done in D&D and actually been proud of. We love you all, and thank you to all of our members. You're getting early access to videos, and maybe some more stuff down the line too. Be safe out there. We'll see you next time. Toodaloo for now.